والصلاة والسلام على المرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين وبعد. This goes the other way. جزاك الله خير. الله يهب. Tonight بإذن الله تعالى يوم الأربعاء ليلة الخميس the 20th of Dhul Hijjah 1424, which is an agreement with February the 11th 2004. I don't think it's different than it was. You know? I think I can post it before. Is this thing here? Seems like it's further back. I know. نعم جيد أحسن. We study the work of Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, the Aqidah that he wrote for the people of Wasit. And its explanation by Shaykh al-Islam Abu Abdullah Muhammad ibn Salih al-Uthaymin rahimahullah rahmatun wasi'ah. We left off at the text which was saying, when he began to say rather, قوله, his statement, وَلِهَذَا قَالَ سُبْحَانَهُ وَتَعَالَى, and because of this, he, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, said, سُبْحَانَ رَبِّكَ رَبِّ الْعِزَّةِ عَمَّا يَصِفُونَ وَسَلَامٌ عَلَى الْمُرْسَلِينَ وَالْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Surah As-Safat 180 to 183. Glory be to Allah Tabarak Ta'ala, glory be to your Lord, Rabb al-Izzah, the possessor of Izzah, Amma Yasifun, upon or above what they describe him. وَسَلَامٌ عَلَى الْمُرْسَلِينَ, and peace be upon the messengers. وَالْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ, and all praise to Allah, Lord of all creation. The Sharh, explanation, Ibn Uthaymin says, وقوله, and the statement of Mu'allaf, the statement of Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, وَلِهَذَا, أي means لأجل كمال كلامه, because of the perfection of the words of Allah Ta'ala and the perfection of the words of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, because they are being revealed to him by Allah Ta'ala. قال سبحان ربك, and we took before the meaning of tasbih. So rather than go into the meaning of tasbih again, he says what? سبق معنى tasbih. سبق معنى tasbih. We took before the meaning of tasbih. He explains this very concisely by saying, وَهُوَ تَنْزِيحٌ. It is to remove Allah Ta'ala above, to exalt Allah Ta'ala, and كُلِّ مَا لَا يَلِيقُ بِهِ, from anything or everything that does not befit him. It is to exalt, to raise Allah Ta'ala above anything or everything that does not befit him. This is what it means when you say Subhana. وَقَوْلُهُ رَبِّكَ, your Lord. Here he connected the rububiyyah, the lordship of Allah, to Muhammad, in the sense that he said Rabbika, your Lord. And وَهِيَ rububiyyah khasa, a particular rububiyyah lordship. It is like when you connect the creatures to the created, the khaliq to the makhluk, or the makhluk to the khaliq. So this is in that respect. وَقَوْلُهُ, in his statement, وَرَبِّ الْعِزَّةِ, the Lord of al-Izzah. It is connecting the quality or description to the one being described. For it is known that every marboob, makhluk, everyone that has a lord over it, only thing that has a lord over it, and there's only one lord of course, is makhluk, created. وهنا قال رب العزة, رب العزة, Lord of might, Lord of the might. And the izzah of Allah Ta'ala is other than created, of course, because it's from sifatihi, from his qualities. فنقول, we say, the Shaykh Ibn Taymiyyah says, this is min bab idafa al-mawsuf ila sifa. This is from the manner of connecting the description or the quality to the one being described. وعلى هذا, based upon this, رب العزة, it means صاحب Izzah, the possessor of Izzah. And Izzah has been translated as power, has been translated as honor, honor and power. Come yuqal Rabbul Dar, the Lord of the what? The house. Huh? Sahib Dar, you mean. The owner of the house, the possessor of the house. So who is Rabbil Izzah? Allah Ta'ala, the possessor of what? Might, honor, power. قوله عما يصفون, and glory be to him, high above he is removed. Glory be, and is your love, is your Lord rather, and high above is removed from what has been described, or what the Christians and the mushriks and those who associate partners with Allah describe him with. عما يصفه المشركون, he's far removed and exalted above whatever the mushriks, however the mushrikeen or mushrikun describe him. As the mu'allaf, the author, will mention, and Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah. قوله, his statement, وَالسَّلَامٌ عَلَى الْمُرْسَلِينَ, and peace be upon the messengers, يعني الرسل. Al-Mursaleen is another way of saying الرسل, the messengers. قوله, his statement, وَالْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ, and all praise to Allah, رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. We can translate that as Lord of all creation, right? Because when you say Lord of the world, many people don't really understand what you mean by that statement. رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. حمد لله نفس, يعني Allah Ta'ala praised himself after he has exalted himself and showed that he is removed from all deficiency. لأن في الحمد, when you praise, or when there's a praise, alhamd, the praise, كمال الصفات, a perfection, a recognition of perfection of the qualities of Allah. وفي تسبيح, when you say subhana, is tanzih عن uyub, it is removing Allah or exalting Allah above all defects. Uyub is defects, aib is a defect. So this ayah, which is 180 to 183 of Surah As-Safat, does both of these. It gathers between tanzih, and raising Allah Ta'ala above all imperfections and all defects, be tasbih, and that's done through what? Tasbih, by saying subhanallah or subhan, like this. Wa ithbat al-kimal, affirmation of the perfection of Allah. An affirmation of the what? The perfection of Allah by saying what? Alhamd, by praise. You'll find as we go further in this book, what he is giving us, Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, is tafsir. And those who have been sitting in these classes from the beginning to now have seen that he gives us tafsir of the ayat and shuruh, explanations of the ahadith. So this is very beneficial in general for the student of knowledge, that besides taking your notes in a general sense from what is given in the circle, connected to the particular subject we're talking about, which is Aqidah al Wasitiyyah, this is in the area of what is called fawaid, benefits. And the scholars used to say that you should have a daftar or a book or a notebook that's just alone for fawaid, for benefits. And you write down a fa'idah every time a fa'idah comes by you, a benefit comes by you, write it down. One day someone may ask you, what is the tafsir of verse 180 to 183 or 184, whatever, Surah Safat? You can tell him. This ayah gathers between tanzih of Allah Ta'ala with tasbih and a confirmation of the perfection of Allah Ta'ala by praise, and like this. This is tafsir. So this helps you in the area of understanding the book of Allah Ta'ala. So this class, as we said before in the beginning, it's not just a class that confirms for us the Aqidah of the people of the Sunnah and those up on the way of the Salaf, but it's also that which gives us benefits in Lugha, the language, Nahu, grammar, Sarf, Balagha, and the like, tafsir of ayat, explanations of hadith, usul or principles of fiqh, and tawjihat or directives from da'wah, explanations of various matters of minhaj and the like. Covers it all. So don't think that if you say you come to Aqidah al Wasitiyyah class, you're only going to be hearing from the standpoint of the asma of Allah Ta'ala and sifat, and therefore you're not going to be any other benefit, but rather in fact you'll be getting benefit from the tafsir of the book of Allah Ta'ala. Probably tafsir that hasn't been translated before, prior tafsir that hasn't been given before, and at the same time in regards to explanation of hadith, and at the same time history and tarikh and the various groups and sects and firq and groups and ta'wa'if that came out upon bid'ah. All of this is explanation of these issues, as those who have been attending know. Text. Once again to the matan. قوله, his statement, فَسَبَّحَ نَفْسَهُ عَمَّا وَصَفَهُ بِهِ الْمُخَالِفُونَ لِلرُّسُلِ. He glorified himself and removed himself and exalted himself above what has been described or how he has been described by those who are in opposition to the messengers. وَسَلَّمَ عَلَى مُرْسَلِينَ. And he praised or mentioned in his peace upon al-mursaleen, upon the messengers, لِسِلَامَةِ مَا قَالُوا مِن نَقْصِ وَالْعِيدِ, because their words regarding Allah Ta'ala was protected and were above and were exalted and were exonerated from any type of deficiency or defect. From any type of deficiency or defect. Sharh, the ma'na, explanation of the ma'na. Ma'na hadhi jumla. The meaning of this particular sentence, paragraph we just took. This jumla, the sentence we just took, Shaykh says, wadih. It's clear. وَبَقِيَ أَن يُقَال, but what's left is to say, he praised himself, subhanahu wa ta'ala, because of the perfection of his qualities. Perfection of his qualities regarding that which is connected to himself, and what he knows, subhanahu wa ta'ala, about himself, and that which the messengers have informed us of the qualities of Allah. So he's to be praised for that. فَإِنَّهُ سُبْحَانَهُ مَحْمُودٌ عَلَى كِمَالِ صِفَاتِهِ وَعَلَى رَسَالِ الرُّسُلِ. Allah Ta'ala is to be praised for the perfection of his qualities and upon the fact that he sent the messengers. لِمَا فِي ذَلِكَ مِنْ رَحْمَةٍ, because what is contained in that of mercy, لِلْخَلْقِ, to the creatures, وَالْإِحْسَانِ إِلَيْهِمْ, and him doing goodness to them. You understand the point? And he's sending the messengers with the haqq and with the proper understanding and the proper belief that one is to hold regarding him, subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's to be praised for sending the messenger because that shows a mercy to the creatures, to the creations. And it shows his goodness, subhanahu wa ta'ala, his ihsan ilayhim, his goodness to them. قوله, his statement, وهو سبحانه قد جمع فيما وصف وسمى به نفسه بين النفي والإثبات. Very important. He coming with a principle that's very important. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has gathered in the manner in which he has described himself between nafi, denying certain things, wal ithbat, confirming certain things. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he describes himself, he has described himself with these two, from these two angles. From denying certain things, and from what? And also affirming certain things. Ash-sharh, explanation. بين مؤلف, the the author explains in this sentence that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gathered between, when he describes it, between these two matters, between a nafi wal ithbat, between a denial and an affirmation. ذلك إن تمام الكمال, because complete perfection cannot be except by affirming perfect qualities of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and denying those things which are opposite to it from the qualities that are deficient, from deficiencies. Huh? فَأَفَادَنَا. So what we benefit from this, rahimahullah, and yarhamakallah, and a sifat qisman, there are two branches of qualities. Two branches of qualities. Sifat muthbita, qualities that are to be confirmed, and we call these a sifat thubutiyyah, qualities that are confirmed. Now, with all of this detail that we go through we try to make sure that at the end of the day, our brothers get a mulakhas, a summarized matter that they ought to understand. For the brothers who don't go in great detail, for some reason or other can't get their mind around the issue, that they have a mulakhas, right? So we do that, inshaAllah ta'ala. And basically what he means by this is that things that are deficient, are a defect, are beneath, are below Allah ta'ala, are to be denied and are to be rejected in this manner. And the perfection or the qualities of perfection that befit Allah ta'ala are to be affirmed. This is basically what he's saying. So that's the first type, sifat thubutiyyah, qualities that are in fact affirmed for Allah ta'ala. The second branch of qualities are those qualities manfiyyah, qualities that are denied from Allah ta'ala. As-salb, wa huwa nafi, it is to deny something. فصفات الله عز وجل, the qualities of Allah Azza wa Jal are two types, two branches, thubutiyyah, those which are to be affirmed, and those which are to be what? Denied. So those things that are to be affirmed is whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has affirmed for himself. وَكُلَّهَا صِفَاتِ الْكِمَالِ, and everything that Allah has affirmed to himself is a quality of perfection. Understand this point. Every quality that Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala has affirmed for himself is a quality of perfection. No type of deficiency, no type of defect can in any shape, fashion, or form come near it. Whatever he has affirmed for himself. وَلَيْسَ فِيهَا نَقْصٌ مِّن وَجْهٍ مِّن وُجُوهٍ. Not بوجه من الوجوه, no aspect, no way is any deficiency to be attributed to it at all. It is total perfection. وَمِن كِمَالِهَا, and from its perfection is that which you affirm for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that which he has affirmed, you affirm because Allah has affirmed himself, is no way that you can understand from it tamtheel, a similarity between Allah and his creatures. Because if you were to able to get from it tamtheel, similarity, or if you were to able to stand from it that is the evidence of tamtheel, similarity, then you would be saying that it's not perfect from every angle. And we just affirmed the fact that whatever Allah affirms for himself is totally perfect. لَنَ مُمَاثِلَ لِلْمَخْلُوقِ نَقْص. Because for Allah ta'ala or any of his qualities to be similar to the creatures is what? A naqs, a deficiency. And you can't get that from the qualities of Allah ta'ala. You cannot get that from the qualities of Allah ta'ala. There is no deficiency. This is a very important point he's making here. كلها صفات الكمال. Every description of Allah Ta'ala, brother, is a quality of perfection. And from its perfection is that it has no way for you to understand any similarity between Allah Ta'ala and His creatures. Because any similarity between Allah Ta'ala and His creatures is naqs, it's deficiency. And Allah Ta'ala is exalted, and His qualities are exalted from any type of deficiency. وإذا فهمنا هذه قاعدة, we understand this principle, عرفنا الضلال أهل التحريف. We come to know how astray are the people of distortion. Those who think that if you affirm a quality for Allah, that therefore you made similarity between Allah and His creatures. Or therefore you made Allah equal with His creatures. Or therefore you have made some type of connection between the quality of Allah and the quality of His creatures. And it tamtheel. So therefore they run away from the quality. Or they reject the quality. Find ways to get around the quality. Firaran, running from similarity. Running from thinking that this quality is similar to this quality mentioned about Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is similar to the quality that the creatures have. And there's no way that's the case, and they could have saved themselves from all of this. ومثاله, example of this, قالوا, they say, لو أثبتنا لله وجها, and if we affirm for Allah a face, لازم يكون مماثلا لأوجاه مخلوقين. It is a must, therefore, that is similar to the faces of the creatures. So therefore we have to make ta'wil. We have to give a new meaning. We have to give another understanding. We have to give another interpretation. Take it to another meaning. So that it's not taken realistically, they say. And it's haqiqah. فَنَقُولُ لَهُمْ, the thing they says, we say to them, كُلُّ مَا أَثْبَتَ اللَّهُ لِنَفْسِهِ مِنْ صِفَاتٍ. Whatever Allah Ta'ala has confirmed or affirmed for Himself of qualities, فَهُوَ صِفَةُ الكمال. It is a quality of perfection. لا يمكن أبدا. It is not possible ever أن يكون فيما أثبته الله لنفسه من صفات النقص. It is not possible ever for that which Allah has affirmed for Himself of qualities of perfection, for there to be any deficiency in it. Any deficiency in it. And for you to say there's a similarity between Allah Ta'ala and His creatures is what? Placing a deficiency. How can there be a quality of perfection if you're going to describe with it that creature which is imperfect, that creature which is, there's no comparison between the creature and the Creator. Understand this point, it's very important. For one will be saying that Allah Ta'ala described Himself in a manner which was not perfect. Or Allah Ta'ala described Him in a manner which was not free from defects or deficiencies. But once one understands that Allah Ta'ala is mentioning about Himself only the truth and the reality, and one understands that Allah Ta'ala is perfect and His qualities is perfect, and whatever He affirms Himself as a quality of perfection, there's no way in the world he can understand anything called similarity. لكن إذا قال قائل, but if someone wants to say, هل صفات توقيفية كالأسماء? Are the names of Allah توقيفية, meaning that they depend upon Qur'an and Sunnah alone and we can't add to them or subtract to them like the names? Or هي اجتهادية, and they're a matter of ijtihad, someone can make ijtihad and come up with other qualities for Allah Ta'ala. بمعنى يصح لنا أن نصف الله سبحانه وتعالى بشيء لم يصف فيه نفسه, meaning that it's permissible for us to describe Allah Ta'ala in a manner that He did not describe Himself. فالجواب, the answer, النقول, that we say, إن الصفات توقيفية. The qualities of Allah are توقيفية. I think you brothers are familiar with this term توقيفية. توقيف is the revelation. توقيف, if you look in the books, particularly of Maqdisi and others, the great author and scholar of al-Muqni, and the Lumat al-I'tiqad, these books, he used the term tawqif. It refers to that mean revelation. So if you hear somebody say, brother, the means of da'wah is tawqifiyah, you understand that he means that you can't come up with your own way of da'wah, rahamakallah, but the way of da'wah that you must come up with is already defined and limited in the Qur'an and the Sunnah. And the names of Allah Ta'ala, the asma', are tawqifiyah. You understand that the names of Allah Ta'ala have been given, they're there, and you can't come up with a name on your own. Certainly come up in this century with a name for Allah Ta'ala on your own. Similarly, as-sifat tawqifiyah. You can't come up with descriptions regarding Allah Ta'ala, qualities regarding Allah Ta'ala on your own, but rather it's what? Tawqifiyah. It's already in the tawqif. It's already in Qur'an and Sunnah, already has been defined, already limited, already whatever, understood, right? This is what the case is. And this is, he says, tawqifiyah mashhur in the Ahl al-Ilm, kal-asma', like the names. So we don't describe Allah Ta'ala except in a manner which he has described himself. So therefore we say, and he's going to, for those brothers who are taking notes, this will be a very beneficial time to do so. So therefore we say that the sifat, the qualities, are broken into three branches. Now, don't get this mixed up with the ones we just took. We're saying that qualities are, and the reason that the scholars do this, taqsimat, and break things down, is what is called taqrib al-fahm, to bring our understanding closer. Now if it does the opposite for you, you should listen to tape more. If you find that it makes your fahm ba'id, your understanding far away, you understand you're not getting al-maqsood, you're not getting what is the objective of what the Shaykh is doing. He's not trying to make the thing hard for us, not trying to give, college level calculus or something like that, make things different for us. He's not requesting for us that we suddenly become nuclear scientists. No. He's trying to make the matter very clear to us by splitting into branches and making the end easy for us. And this is done by most of the Mashaykh. I mean, those of you who have been listening to the ilm online, with Sheikh Ubaid, find often that they says the issues of two matters, or the issues of three matters. And those who've been following the lectures of Tawheed, Abdullah Jarabu', same thing. And in this matter is three matters, and this matter is four matters, like this. It makes the matter easier to understand if it's given in this way. The sifat تنقسم إلى ثلاثة أقسام. And Ibn Taymiyyah says we will be splitting it into three branches. Then these qualities. Sifat al-Kamal mutlaq, qualities that are absolutely perfect, totally perfect, mutlaq. وصفة كمال مقيد, and a quality that is perfect but in a restricted form. And then he'll explain it, that it has to come restrictedly, in a restricted form, for it to be perfect. If it comes generally, it's not perfect. You'll understand, inshallah, as we go along. وصفة نقص مطلق, and a quality that is totally, absolutely deficient. That's not hard. Nobody's asking you to explain pi, right? All this stuff. أما صفة الكمال الإطلاق, qualities that are perfect, absolutely, فهي ثابتة لله عز وجل. They are fixed and affirmed for Allah Azza wa Jal. كالمتكلم, that he speaks. That Allah Ta'ala speaks is a quality of perfection totally. Al-Itlaq, absolutely, that's a perfect quality of perfection. وَفِعَالًا لِمَا يُرِيد, and he does whatever he wants. It's a quality of what? Perfection. That Allah Ta'ala has a quality. فَعَالٌ لِمَا يُرِيد, he does whatever he wants, not restricted by anything or anybody. وَالْقَادِرُ, total ability, total power, absolute ability, absolute power. وَنَحْوِ ذَلِكَ, whatever similar to that. Amma sifat al-Kamal, a quality which is perfection, which is restricted. This is a quality where you don't describe Allah Tabaraka Ta'ala with it absolutely and generally. But when you do it, you restrict it. Like al-makr, plotting. Wal-khida', any deceiving or deception, trickery. Wal-isti'za', mocking, right? وَمَا أَشْبَهَ ذَلِكَ, and that which is similar. These are qualities of perfection only when they are what? Restricted. Restricted. Yani when they are done muqabila, as a reaction, as a punishment for something that was done by the creatures. Then it's a quality of perfection. Then it's a quality of perfection. يعني مقابلة من يفعل ذلك. يعني to plot. Dealing with someone who plotted. To deceive someone who tried to deceive. To trick someone who what? Was trying to trick Allah Ta'ala. And this reaction to this is a quality of perfection, but it's restricted as a response. So you don't call Allah Ta'ala the plotter. It's not a quality for someone to plot all the time. It's not a quality of perfection. Someone the one who tricks and cheats, right? It's not a quality of perfection to do that all the time. But when it is in reaction, as a means of justice, as a response to the one who was trying to trick Allah Ta'ala, and Allah tricked him, who's trying to get over on Allah, and Allah got over him, then it's what? It's a quality of perfection. So this quality is a restricted, a quality of perfection which is restricted. So if you mention in a general sense, in an absolute sense, you cannot connect it to Allah. So you don't call Allah al-makir, the plotter. You know, you might have some fool who will. Generally, those people sound mind and sound aqidah won't do that. Or musta'zi, Allah is the one who mocks. Or khadi, Allah is the one who cheats or tricks. But rather you restrict it. You say that he is the plotter against those who plot. He's the one who boasts and mocks against those who the munafiqeen who mock and boast. And he is the one who tricks the kuffar who try to trick and cheat. So you mention it with restriction. You mention it with restriction, and you don't mention it without this restriction. You mention it as a response. For if you do other than that, you are not affirming for Allah a quality of perfection, but in fact you're affirming for him a defect. Amma sifat al-naqs al-itlaq, the quality which is a deficiency absolutely, Allah Ta'ala is never in any shape, fashion, or form to be described with those qualities. Like al-ajiz, inability. Wal-kha'in, the cheater. Wal-a'ma, the blind one. Wa-asam, the deaf one. This is absolute what? Deficiency. Absolute defect. So Allah Ta'ala is not to be described with these matters whatsoever. وَانظُرْ إِلَى الْفَرْقِ بَيْنَ خَادِعْ وَخَائِنْ. Look at the difference between the one who's khadi' and kha'in. Because we said khadi' really, kha'in. Let's see how you translated that. I like to put a brother work here soft. Surah Nisa, verse 142. You're the closest to the Mus'haf? You're not in the habit of that. You say, I got this guy here, man. Usually Jabir is sitting there. And Sharif, if you're going to have to search the dunya. The noble Qur'an, akhi, barakallah fi. If none there, Bismillah. Surah Nisa, verse 142. Huh? Say what? The hypocrites. Deceive. Deception. Okay, Surah Al-Anfal, verse 71. So, yeah, 71. So those ones, brothers, under Kimal and betray. Okay, so he's saying that Kimal, the quality of perfection which is restricted, is the quality of, what was the first one? The hypocrites, what? No, what did he say? Deception. That is the restricted one. The quality he should never be described with is betrayal. Betrayal, which is kha'in. And he'll tell us why in this regard. He says that you don't describe Allah with that at all. Huh? He says, because the ayah says, Inna munafiqeen, verily the hypocrites, yukhadi'un Allah. Yani, they seek to deceive Allah. Wa huwa khadi'uhum. And he what? Deceives them. This is in response. So it's a quality of what? Perfection. فَأَثْبَتَ خِدَاعَهُ. He has affirmed the deception for those who seek to what? Deceive. لكن في خيانة, in betrayal, when يريد خيانتك, and if they want to betray you, فَقَدْ خَانَ اللَّهَ مِنْ قَبْلُ فَأَمْكَنَ مِنْهُمْ. Yani they betrayed Allah before, and Allah أمكن منهم, had the ability to deal with them. Lam yaqul, he didn't say, and Allah betrayed them. Right? Because khiyana, betrayal, is deception when you have been trusted. You see the difference? When you have been trusted, and then you deceive, this is betrayal. And this is not a quality of what? Perfection. In any shape, fashion, or form. Right? So to betray in a position of trust is a deficiency. لَيْسَ فِيهِ مَدْ أَبَدًا. It's not something praiseworthy, never. So therefore Allah Ta'ala in this ayah did not ascribe it to himself. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَإِذٍ therefore, صِفَاتَ النَّقْص, and any quality of imperfection, any quality of deficiency, is denied and rejected and removed from Allah Ta'ala, and Allah Ta'ala is exalted above it absolutely. Absolutely. والصفات المأخوذة من أسماء هي كمال بكل حال. And the qualities which are taken from the names of Allah are always perfect from every direction, in every situation. ويكون الله عز وجل اتصل بمدلولها. We took this before. And Allah Ta'ala can be described with that which you understand from that name. For some, hearing is a sifat kimal, it's a quality of perfection, the quality of hearing. And what shows this quality is his name, as-Sami', as-Sami', the all-hearing. فَكُلِّ صِفَةٍ, every quality which you can understand from his names, then is sifat al-Kimal, is a quality of perfection, and to be affirmed for Allah Ta'ala in an absolute, general, loose way. You don't have to restrict it whatsoever. What is called in Arabic al-Itlaq. وَهَذِهِ نَجْعَلَهَا قَسْمًا مُنْفَصِلًا. He said, we make this a branch which is separate. Then the لَيْسَ فِيهَا تَفْصِيل, because there's not a lot of detail regarding it. وَغَيْرَهَا, and the other ones that we said go into the three types that we mentioned before. وَلِهَذَا, and because of this, Allah Ta'ala didn't call himself al-Mutakallam, the talker. مع أنه يتكلم, even though he talks. لأن الكلام قد يكون خيرا, speech can be good, وقد يكون شرا, can be evil, وقد لا يكون خيرا ولا شرا, and can be that which is neither good or evil. فالشر, the evil, لا ينسب إلى الله, is never connected to Allah. Wallahu, which is just amusement and frivolous talk. It's not to be what? Connected to Allah, because it's foolishness, he says. Because it's foolishness. Wal khayr, that which is good, is connected to Allah. And because of this, he does not call himself a mutakallim. You wouldn't say Abdul Mutakallim. That brother's name, Abdul Mutakallim. Even though we have some of the strangest names on earth, the Muslims walking around with the strangest names on earth, generally, hopefully you won't find someone calling themselves Abdul Mutakallim, because it's not a name of Allah Ta'ala. Yeah. And no one should take from this dars that they should call themselves Mutakallim. لِلْأَسْمَاءِ كَمَا وَصَفَ اللَّهُ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ, because the names as if Allah described them. وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى, and for Allah are the what? Beautiful names. Mutakallim will not be beautiful, the talker. فَلَيْسَ فِي أَيِّ شَيْءٍ مِنَ النَّقْصِ, there's no deficiency whatsoever in these names. وَلِهَذَا جَاءَ بِاسْمِ التَّفْدِيلِ الْمُطْلَقِ, it came in the Arabic grammar form, ism tafdeel. Al-asma, al-husna, like this. Al-asma is of course regarding to the plurality of names, but al-husna. إِذْ قَالَ قَائِلٌ, if a person says, فَهِمْنَا الصِّفَاتِ وَأَقْسَامِهَا, we understand now the qualities in its various branches. فَمَا هُوَ طَرِيقُ الْإِثْبَاتِ صِفَةٍ مَا دُمْنَا نَقُولُ أَنَّ الصِّفَاتِ تَوْقِيفِيَّةٌ, and so how is the method that we can affirm for Allah a particular quality, since we've just said that the qualities are tawqifiyah? They're based upon Kitab al Sunnah. فَنَقُولُ, we say that there are many methods to affirming the qualities of Allah Ta'ala. الطريق الأول, first method, is the evidence that is given from a name upon a particular quality. Because every name, remember we took this earlier, some of this is repetition and reminder benefits believer. Some of this is news to some new ears, and inshallah ta'ala you will understand more bi'idhnillahi ta'ala as you continue. فَهُوَ, every ism includes a quality. And we said before, every name for the names of Allah gives evidence to the actual essence and actual self and actual person of Allah, and gives evidence to a particular quality that is taken from it. Remember we took that? I don't know if you're here. You might have been here. طريق الثاني, second method. أن ينص على صفة, that you have an actual text explaining a particular attribute, like al-wajh, the face of Allah, وَيَدَيْن, the two hands of Allah, وَعَيْنَيْن, the two eyes of Allah, وَمَا أَشْبَهَ ذَلِكَ, and that which is similar to it. فَهَذِهِ بِالنَّص, this is a text min Allah, from Allah Azza wa Jal. Also intiqam, which is retribution. فَقَالَ تَعَالَى إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَزِيزٌ ذُو انْتِقَامٍ, where Allah Ta'ala is all powerful, the one able, the possessor of, able to revenge, or able to do retribution. Surah Ibrahim verse 47. But from his names is not al-Muntaqim, even though you might find some people having that. Right? The revenger, or the one who dishes out retribution. He said, the Sheikh says, خِلَافْ لِمَا يُوجَدْ فِي بَعْضِ الْكُتُبِ, he said, this is in opposition to what you find in other books. Some books have that. And this is why it's very important that a person, especially in this particular time, we have all, mashallah, the books translated. And many of them have been translated, wallah alhamd. For instance, Qawa'id al-Muthla has in it, Ibn Taymiyyah places the 99 names of Allah Ta'ala, those that he got from Sunnah, and those that are authentic al-Hadith, and those he got from the Qur'an. So a person can get that. But regarding trying to depend upon that narration, which is in Sahih Muslim, the English version. Once again I say, the English version. Because it's not in Sahih Muslim, the Arabic version, because it's not authentic. The hadith of Tirmidhi and the hadith of Da'if. So you can't depend upon that, and for the most part, many of the posters that people have is from that. And it contains, it's a weak narration to begin with, it contains things that are not part of the names of Allah Ta'ala. So if you go home and you have that, right by your Stokely Carmichael poster with him sitting in the chair, no. Oh, that, I'm joking with you. But if you find that you have that poster, take it down, barakallahu feekum, and go to for instance, Asma wa Husna, by Sa'adi has also been translated. Any of those books that have the authentic ones, and I prefer Ibn Uthaymeen's for many reasons, and it's easy, inshallah ta'ala, and a long time ago, our brother Abu Talha, Burbank, he took it and he wrote it in nice Arabic fashion and put the English like that. So if someone wants to do this is nice, so that the people can have that. Because these ones, I mean, and then you got others that, we was looking at a book the other day, somebody asked us to look at, I don't recall what quality it was that came out. I've never heard of that quality in my life. It's like somebody came up with one. The lover or something, I don't know what it was. Something crazy. So, and they affirm it for Allah Ta'ala, these names. Yeah? He said, some put this, Al-Muntaqim, Ibn Uthaymeen says, in their book. Huh? But, like we said, this is one of those qualities that is to be mentioned, restricted. Allah doesn't seek revenge towards any, just a vengeful, right? Oh, it's done for somebody who did something wrong, and like this. Retribution towards that, like that. So therefore it's ala-sabil in the method, as we said, muqayyid, and it's restricted. Like, inna min mujrimeen muntaqimun. Would have Sharif in, look, but I don't want to bother him. Sajda, verse 22. الطريق الثالث Sajda, verse 22. الطريق الثالث, the third way, is to take it from the action, or from the verb rather. مثل المتكلم فنخها من that Allah speaks, we take it from وقرم الله موسى تكليما, that Allah Ta'ala spoke to Musa, and like this. Surah Nisa, verse 164. There's the three methods he mentions. Three methods he mentioned. Ta'ala. بناء على ذلك, based upon this, نقول, we say, 22.
And he does more wrong than he who is reminded of the ayah who celebrates verses of his Lord. Then he turns aside therefrom. Earlier we shall exact retribution.
Retribution. Yeah. Okay. From who? From the mujrimeen. From the criminals. Yeah. Otherwise, as in response to them committing the crime, Allah will what? Exact retribution. Otherwise, He's not the retributor all the time, right? It's just in reaction, right? And subhanAllah, you find that those who don't have the correct aqidah and who haven't been blessed with this great blessing that we all, if we realize really what it was, we would be in a state of bliss all the time. This great blessing of Islam. They have all types of foolish ways of describing their Lord. Particularly if you look in some of the works of Ibn Qayyim, and whether he replies to the Jews and the Christians, like the trickery, his books regarding the trickery of shaitan upon the people. He talks about all the qualities of imperfection that the Jews ascribe to Allah Ta'ala. It's horrible, abhorrent, the things that they say. So this is a great blessing, to be guided to Islam, and within Islam to be guided to the path which is correct. Na'am. These are the methods, he says, upon this way. بناء على ذلك نقول الصفة عام من أسماء. Qualities are more general than names, because every name includes a quality, but you don't get from every quality a name. And that's clear. We don't make, because he does retribution sometimes, we don't make him the retributor. You know what I'm saying? Or because he, deceives sometimes, Allah's the deceiver. No. Right? But from every name you get quality.
Al-Alim means he what? Has knowledge. Al-Basir means what? He sees. Sami', he hears. Right? Very important point. Now those qualities are to be denied from Allah Ta'ala, and we're almost done tonight. And this is a very important point too. أما الصفات المنفية عن الله عز وجل, the qualities which are to be denied from Allah Ta'ala فكثيرة, a lot. ولكن الإثبات أكثر. Those which are to be affirmed are more. Generally, Ahl al-Sunnah, they are detailed in what they affirm and very concise in what they deny. This is in general, except on certain occasions, right? In general, whatever they affirm for Allah, they go in detail. And you find the opposites of Ahl al-Bidah, particularly if you read, for instance, like Islam in Focus or books like that. They do the opposite. Ahl al-Sunnah will say, well, Allah Ta'ala is all hearing, the all knowing. Allah Ta'ala is the one, who, the Al-Khaliq, the creator, the Mudabbir, the runner of affairs, the master, the provider, like this. Detail. Ahl al-Bidah go in detail about what he's not. Well, Allah's not a machine. He's not a car. He's not an automobile. He's not a, he's not a clock. He's not a... And you'll find them going in detail about what he's not. It's a very summarized matter regarding what he is, what they affirm. And Ahl Sunnah are the opposite to that, in general. So he said, as-sifat, and if you read Islam in Focus, you'll find that. Don't go read the book now, but I'm just saying. Don't go read it. Leave the book alone. But I mean, in general, you find that these aqa'id, once you get a sound basis, and I'm not saying you don't have it already, but once you get more support for your aqidah, you'll find these in these books. I want to give you some literature. Oh yeah, they're going to give you some literature. And you'll come across it. And you'll say, what? Like this. Because you have the qawa'id, the principles then, and you'll be able to distinguish falsehood from that which is the haqq. So therefore, that which is denied from Allah Ta'ala of deficiencies and the like are a lot, but that which is affirmed is more. لأن صفة إثبات كلها صفات كمال. The qualities that are affirmed are qualities of perfection. No matter how much they are, how numerous they are, and how much of variety they are. ظهر من كمال الموصوف ما هو أكثر. And no matter how much detail you go into, the qualities of perfection are more and more and more. This is because Allah Ta'ala, subhanallah. That's all you can say. Subhanallah. وَصِفَاتِ النَّفِي قَلِيلًا. And those qualities which are to be denied are a small amount. لِهَذَا نَجْرِ صِفَاتِ النَّفِي تَأْتِي كَثِيرًا عَامًا. And that's why we find the qualities that are rejected or denied from Allah Ta'ala come general, in a general sense. غير مخصص, not particularized, specifically dealing with one particular quality. والمخصص بصفة معينة لا يكون إلا لسبب. And when we deny a particular thing from a particular quality, it has a particular reason behind it. Like he says, showing that those who claim that Allah has a particular quality are lying about him. So he denies it from himself, subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that he can remove this false accusation that they have accused him of, right? Let's get this. General. First branch of this type is general. And the types of what? Denial. When Allah denies a quality of deficiency. كَقَوْلُهُ ta'ala, the statement of Allah, لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ. That's a very general statement. There's nothing similar to him. There's nothing like him. وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْبَصِيرُ. He's the all-hearing, all-seeing. Surah Al-Shura, verse 11. قَالَ, he said, لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ. There's nothing similar to him. فِي عِلْمِهِ, in his knowledge. وَقُدْرَتِهِ, in his ability. وَسَمْعِهِ, in his hearing. وَبَصَرِهِ, in his seeing. وَعِزَّتِهِ, in his power. وَحِكْمَتِهِ, in his wisdom. وَرَحْمَتِهِ, in his mercy. And on and on and on and on and on. There's absolutely what? Nothing similar to Allah Ta'ala. Well, and on and on from other sifat. He didn't go in great tafsil, right? great detail. Just gave a general thing of what he denied. بل قال ليس كمثله شيء. وهذا النفي عام. This is a general denial. مجمل, concise, showing his total perfection. Those few words. ليس كمثله شيء. في كل كمال, and he's complete and totally perfect. وأما إذا كان مفصلا, when he comes to denying something about a quality of imperfection, he does it concisely, and if he has to give detail, it's because of a reason. Like him saying, مَا اتَّخَذَ اللَّهُ مِنْ وَلَدٍ. Allah did not take a son. Surah Al-Mu'minun, verse 91. Raddan, replying to those who said that Allah has a son. وَقَوْلُهُ لَمْ يَلِدْ وَلَمْ يُولَدْ. It's responding to that also, right? وَقَوْلُهُ تَعَالَى وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا السَّمَوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. Verily we created the heavens and the earth. وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا, and what is between them. فِي سِتَّةِ أَيَّامٍ, in 6 days. مَا مَسَّنَا مِنَ الْغُوبِ. No tiredness approached us. No tiredness touched us. No tiredness came near us. Do you hear this? Do you hear this? كذلك, and this is Surah Al-Qaf, verse 38. لأنه قد يفرد الذهن, because one might have in his mind that Allah Ta'ala, one who does not estimate Allah in a just estimate, does not give the full understanding or full greatness to Allah Ta'ala that Allah Ta'ala deserves. That this samawat, all these heavens, al-azima, so great, wal-ardun, al-azima, and these great earths, if he created them in 6 days, he must have got tired. This is someone who what? Doesn't estimate Allah with a just estimate. So Allah responded, مَا مَسَّنَا مِنْ لُغُوبٍ, and nothing of tiredness came near me. Nothing of tiredness whatsoever. Huh? فَبَيْنَ بِهَذَا, he explains to this, that denying a quality or denying imperfection doesn't come in the qualities of Allah Ta'ala except in generalities, or if it goes in details for a particular reason. Because when you deny something in general, and this is a very important principle to understand, it doesn't include perfection. Huh? Unless what you're denying, through your denial of it, you are affirming something which is perfect, affirming something which is good. It's a very important point. When they have the naqul, we say that the qualities that Allah Ta'ala has denied from himself, because they are that which are deficiencies and defects, when he denies them, it's because through denying them, he is confirming the quality of perfection. He's confirming the opposite of it. And the opposite of that defect is the quality of perfection. فَقَوْلُهُ مَا مَسَّنَا مِنَ الْغُلُوبِ, no tiredness touched us, shows what? Total power. Perfect power. Perfect ability. When he denies the fact, no tiredness touched us, this is a confirmation of the fact that he's perfect in his what? Power. He's perfect in his ability. And if he says, وَلَا يَظْلِمُ رَبُّكَ أَحَدًا, and your Lord does not do injustice to anyone, Surah Al-Kahf, verse 49, this is included what? What does it confirm? That he's totally just. That he's perfect in his justice. In other words, there's no kalam or rhetoric for the sake of talk. He's not denying something just to deny something. He's denying it because in the denial, there's affirmation of something that is great and perfect behind what he's denying. وَمَا اللَّهُ بِغَافِلٍ عَمَّا تَعْمَلُونَ, and Allah is not unaware of what you do. This is what? Showing his perfect what? Ilm, knowledge, and full awareness of what? What everyone does. And upon this, the Sheikh says you can judge all of those. If you want to go through the Qur'an and look, wherever Allah denies something from himself, and you will find in it that he's perfecting something, a quality of perfection behind that. فَلَا بُدَّ أَن تَكُونَ الصِّفَةُ So it must be the quality that is being denied, that through denying it, you are affirming a quality of perfection. That which you are affirming is a quality of perfection which is opposite of it. Because if you didn't do that, then it wouldn't be madh, wouldn't be praised. And you can see that amongst the creatures. Right now, someone came to you and said, Harun, you're not a thief. You're not a criminal. You know what I'm saying? You're not kaza and kaza and kept on. Is any of that praise? None of that's praise. Until he says what? That you're trustworthy. And you're upright, man. And like this. So just denying something, denying about a person, something is what? It's not praise. When it's denied and there's a praise intended behind it, or a praise that is confirmed behind it, then it is in fact a praise. So لا يوجد في صفات منفية عن الله نفي مجرد. You don't find Allah just denying something just for the sake of denying it. Because just for the sake of denying it is what is called nothing. Nothing. Adam laysa bishay. It doesn't have any praise whatsoever. Because a person can be someone who just doesn't have the ability to have a particular quality. And therefore that would be a criticism more so than anything else. Because he doesn't have the ability to have that quality. So it's not praising nor it's criticism. He gives an example of this. The one who doesn't have the ability to do something. It's a statement of the poet. قَبِيلَةٌ لَا يَقْدِرُونَ بِذِمَّةٍ وَلَا يَظْلِمُونَ النَّاسَ حَبَّةَ خَرْدًا. Basically saying that this particular tribe don't do nobody wrong. And the reason they don't is because they don't have any power. Any ability. Of course they don't do nobody wrong. They don't have no power. Couldn't do anything. Right? They're ajiz. They don't have the ability to do something. You know? يعني مثال ثاني لعدم قابلية أن تقول إن جدارنا, like for instance something that cannot accept that particular attribute that you're denying anyway. By saying in the jidarina, verily our walls don't do any injustice to anyone. How's the wall going to do injustice anyway? Right? So, our obligation regarding these sifat that Allah Ta'ala has affirmed from himself, and those that Allah Ta'ala has denied from himself, is that we say, Sami'na, we hear, wa saddaqna, we believe in the truthiness of it, wa amanna, we believe in it. Hada wa sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammad. So any questions, inshaAllah ta'ala? Any questions? Any questions on brothers on the phone? Bismillah. And describing Allah only in the way that he describes himself, it's permissible to say, we plan and Allah plan, but Allah is the best of planners, barakallahu feekum. Yeah, inshallah, generally it's permissible. Because there's a thing called the akhbar, or information that is generally known regarding Allah Ta'ala, by which it is known, but that you don't necessarily ascribe a particular quality to him. Right? And the scholars say that this bab, or this area, is outside, it's wider. So, inshallah ta'ala, in that sense, I guess I'll leave it at that. I don't want to get too far ahead. But anyway, in that sense, in a general sense, if you're not saying that which is in any way wrong, right? Because that statement is a true statement. Right? There's no problem bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. And maybe for further clarification, Ibn Qayyim talks about this when he talks about qadim, old. You can say it, in a general sense. You can ascribe the matter of Allah Ta'ala having always existed and like this, and saying qadim in that sense, but it is not a name that you can say for Allah Ta'ala. So in the sense of information-wise, you may say something regarding Allah Ta'ala which is in fact truthful, but which in fact you don't get any particular quality or sifa from. And this example is given by him, and the explainer of Aqidah al Wasitiyyah brings it, who was a student of Ibn Kathir. I think he brings this quote in Aqidah al Wasitiyyah. It was mentioned that most books containing a list of the 99 names of Allah include names that are not authentically reported. Where can I find an authentic list? I think everyone can tell him now. Qawaid Muthla, inshallah. Which is called what in English? Exemplary Foundations concerning the beautiful names and attributes of Allah. The first pages? First, what? Okay. Alright, inshallah ta'ala. You can find it there. And these names have, I've seen a shar of it, explanation of it that shows the authenticity of the ones that are taken from the Sunnah. Page 33, he starts out from the Book of Allah. He brings 30. Actually, he brings 80. He brings 30. The Book of Allah is exalted. He brings 81, and from the Sunnah he brings 18. Naam, inshallah ta'ala, Exemplary Foundation concerning the beautiful names and attributes of Allah, book by Muhammad bin Salih al-Uthaymin, translated by Musa Richardson, published by Troy Publications. Naam. He talked about the 99 names of Allah. How is it authentic? Can you please explain again? What it meant was the hadith itself, of course, is authentic. Those who have been following these lectures know the hadith itself is authentic. The Prophet ﷺ said that for Allah Ta'ala's 99 names, he who, and the meaning will be translated from the Arabic to the English, it contains 2 or 3 meanings actually, more than just memorize. But anyway, he who does that, memorize them, learns their meanings, and act upon them in accordance with their dictates and so on and so forth, in the manner that we took earlier on in the lessons, and he will enter the Jannah. This hadith is sahih. But those narrations which list, like the one in Tirmidhi, which list the actual names, and these are not authentically, that hadith is not authentic, and those names are not authentically connected to have come from the Prophet ﷺ. So what one has to then do is what he does, Ibn Taymiyyah in this book and others, take the names from the ayat of Allah Ta'ala and from authentic ahadith of the Prophet ﷺ. No? Big Sheikh? He's saying he's bringing this in a hadith. Oh, you're talking about in the book itself is the whole book is a reference, inshallah ta'ala. Get the book, inshallah. Naam. Nothing locally. It's always like this, huh? You think it's going to continue, huh? Like this? Questions only in Minhaj. Labas, inshallah. May Allah Ta'ala make this knowledge a evidence for us and not evidence against us. Yawm al-liqa, on the day that we meet him, where he's able to do all of that. Wa sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammad.